Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about Valentine's Day glam. Whether you're just getting ready for you, Galentine's Day, or to be with your boo, this is a look me and my clients like to call pretty girl glam. It's a look that focuses on glowy skin and brings out the best in your features. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video if you find it helpful. I always appreciate your support on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be reintroducing some of my favorite skincare products with a brand that I've worked with a lot. I also want to give a thank you to ELEMIS for sponsoring another one of my videos. But without further ado, let's get into this Valentine's Day beat. First product we're going to get into is the ELEMIS Superfood Kefir Tea Mist. It is a priming, hydrating, and facial mist. It's the first thing that I'm going to want to do in this routine because it's really going to help the rest of my skincare just to melt into my skin. I'm also really big into prebiotics for the skin, and this also contains a natural prebiotic which will help to balance and hydrate your skin. So not only would I recommend using this product before your skincare, but also after to set the makeup to really help it melt into the skin, take away that makeup-y feel, and I also love using it to refresh my skin throughout the day. I'm actually gonna use more of this because it feels so good. My forehead has been so dry lately, so I feel like I just need an extra layer before this look. Plus, I wanna be really hydrated and dewy. And all of the ELEMIS products from the Superfood range smell so good. It has this beautiful earthy aroma that I really wish you guys could smell with me. Next up, we have the ELEMIS Superfood Facial Oil. This is the most nourishing oil that I've used. The whole entire Superfood range is incredible. It just takes you to this really serene place because it smells so earthy. I'm gonna start off by taking about 2 pumps on my hands and just start pressing this into my skin. Sometimes I just wanna kind of hold that in and breathe because it just feels so relaxing on my skin. Every single client that I put this product on, because I literally put this on every single client, they always stop and ask, what is that product? Why does it smell so good? What does it do? Because it just feels so nourishing and hydrating on the skin. It also has a lot of healing properties to it. You're basically just giving your skin its daily recommended servings of greens in every single drop. It's formulated with a blend of 9 superfood oils like broccoli, rosehip oil, and flaxseed. It feels super lightweight and non-greasy. I know I put a nice amount on my skin. That is because my skin is a bit on the drier side at the moment. And for those of you who are not new on my channel, you know I talk about rosacea and dermatitis a lot. That's something that my skin constantly goes through. And I always feel like when I use the ELEMIS line, my skin gets better. It feels like it's very nourished. There are so many healing properties in this product that I can always see my skin really decreasing in inflammation and just overall feeling really nourished and hydrated. So if you have oily skin, you're probably thinking that you can't wear this product. That is not true. I would highly suggest putting the oil only on the tops of the cheeks and then doing your foundation and just the rest of your makeup routine. It's just going to shine through and give your skin the most beautiful lit from within glow. Now, if you have normal, sensitive, dry skin, you can definitely just apply 2 drops and just lightly start to really lather that into the skin. I would recommend using this product morning and night. And I also have a code for you guys. And as you can see, that glow, honey, she is instant. And just wait till we put the foundation on. It's so stunning. Next up, we have the ELEMIS Daily Defense Shield SPF 30. Just gonna start off with a small amount of my SPF 30. And I just wanna say, if you guys are not using an SPF in your everyday routine, stop right now and start today because SPF is probably one of the most important products in your routine because we all need to be protecting our skin from UV rays so we can stay looking radiant, youthful, and fresh, and really just avoid all the harmful damages of the sun. I live in California where it is very sunny, so when I'm in my car, I know I'm getting sun. I always take this product and I'll apply it on my face and also on my hands while I'm driving because your hands are also exposed. I specifically love this one from ELEMIS because it doesn't make me feel like I'm wearing SPF because it doesn't have that smell to it. It also isn't weighing the skin down, so I know that my makeup is going to last throughout the day and I'm gonna have a much longer wear. And you always wanna remember that this should be the last step in your skincare routine so you are protected. For foundation, I'm using the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. This is actually a foundation that I have not yet tried, so I'm gonna be trying it out with you guys for the first time. A little definitely goes a long way with this product. I'm also using a very dense brush to apply this so I can get pretty good coverage from it. And you always wanna make sure that you bring it down to the neck. I'm using the shade Barcelona. It definitely has more olive undertones to it. It's gonna help neutralize any of the rosacea and pink that I have in my cheeks. And so far I'm just working with what I have on the brush. So I'm personally a big fan of all of the NARS foundations. I have used probably every single foundation that NARS has ever made. I'm just a huge NARS fan. I've always used NARS. I've heard so many good things about this foundation, and it does feel really lightweight on the skin. I feel like I'm getting an instant glow. And I also want to mention that the ELEMIS Superfood facial oil that I applied right before this is really starting to glow through. And you'll see once I put the powder, the glow will still be there, but it'll be a little bit more natural. And I'm just gonna make sure that I put this foundation over my eyelids so we can have a nice base for eyeshadow. I'm also gonna use BUXOM's Big O Lip Balm. This one has a really natural pinky hue to it, and it just reacts to the natural pH levels in your lips to create the most beautiful pinky undertone. Next, I'm gonna go in with my Nudies Tinted Blur Stick in shade 8. So I went ahead and put some on the back of my hand just to warm it up, and I'm gonna be using this as my contour. So I'm just gonna start in my hairline and just start buffing this into a downward direction. Now, if you have a smaller forehead, I would definitely recommend doing a lot less or maybe none at all, because you just want to make sure that you keep the forehead looking a little bit more open. Whenever you're contouring, you're basically shading and sculpting and minimizing those areas. I've always really liked these Nudies Tinted Blur Sticks because you can use them as foundation, concealer, and also to contour and warm up the skin. So when you're contouring, you can go in and kind of press to feel right underneath that cheekbone, and that's where you'd want to start. Or you can use the top of your ear as a guide and direct it into the apples of the cheeks. And I'm using this product today because I want more of a natural contour, and I feel like the Nudies Tinted Blur Sticks always do the job. I'm just gonna bring a little bit right underneath the jaw and then blend downward. And then to the sides of the nose, you can take the brush and just hold it vertically, and you wanna make sure that you keep this as straight as possible. The further away you do your contour, the wider you're actually gonna make your nose. So you wanna keep this pretty narrow. And then I'm gonna bring this into my brow hairs just to soften up my brows for when we actually fill in that part. To conceal, I'm gonna be using my Nudefix concealer in shade 4. So I'm just gonna make a few lines right underneath my eyes just to brighten. And the placement that I'm using is going to help kind of lift the eyes up and overall just look more youthful and elevated. Just a little bit down the bridge of the nose, right above the forehead, sides of the mouth. And using my Cozzette concealer brush, I'm gonna start blending outward. So just be really mindful of the motions that you're using and your technique. Just wanna make sure that I'm lifting up just to lift everything up and give us a more youthful look. This brush is really dense, and I love that it is more of a triangular pointed shape, so it's really easy to get around the face. I also recommend stippling the brush so you can create a little bit more coverage in certain areas. And I'm basically just blending in the exact placement that we laid the concealer. So in this case, I wanna make sure that I bring it upward. Remember, we're doing hot girl glam, okay? And with whatever's left over from this area, you can just bring it over the eyelids. Down the bridge of the nose, you can just kind of lightly go over this area because we are going to set the contour with a powder contour. And then just lightly blending right above the brows and the center of the forehead. And also feel like you can really build it up and get the coverage that you want, but it will never feel heavy or cakey or anything like that. To set my makeup, I'm gonna be using my Kylie Cosmetics Soft Pink Translucent Powder. I just felt like this undertone was really appropriate for the makeup that I wanted to do today because I really wanted to just be really soft and lightly pinky under the eyes. I mean, you'll barely be able to tell. I feel like I have yellow tones and warm tones in my skin, so I did a foundation that has more of a yellow tone, and now I'm using a powder that has a pinky undertone slightly, I mean ever so slightly. So I feel like it really gives my skin the most perfect complexion and undertone. So I started under the eyes, and now I'm just going around the brow area. Really want to matte out the brow area, so whenever I go and to fill them in, there won't be any shine. To set my contour, I'm going to be using one of my favorite bronzers by BUXOM in shade Rooftop Tan. So I'm just gonna lightly kind of go over the same areas that we already contoured with Rooftop Tan, just to really set it, give it that extra oomph and an even longer wear. This bronzer is also primer infused, so you're gonna get that 14-hour wear, which is amazing. It's definitely not gonna be going anywhere. It's another staple in my makeup kit. I'm also just gonna lightly bring it around the sides of the nose. So when you stipple the brush, it really just ensures that the product is going to stay put and you won't have any holes or gaps on the cheeks. That is not cute when you're doing your bronzer. Sometimes I feel like when I go back and forth too much, you're just kind of slipping and sliding the product all over the place and it's not cute. I'm just gonna go over the contoured areas of my nose just to soften it up. For eyes, I'm gonna be using the Signature Eye Palette from Vanity Makeup, and how stunning are these shades? I've been dying to use this palette. So I'm gonna start off by using this really beautiful neutral brown in the crease. So using a blending brush, I'm basically just gonna place this eyeshadow right where my eye folds just to start. And I'm just using really soft pressure and strokes. And as I move up on the brow bone, I'm using an even softer touch just to make sure that this eyeshadow look is really blended and diffused. And I just love how easy these shadows blend. They're so rich and buttery and smooth. A little goes a long way, but I'm definitely slowly building up this shade. And I'm softly just bringing this into the inner corner. I also can't wait to share more about these brushes. I've been working on them for, oh my God, almost, I guess 2 years now, which is so crazy. They're supposed to drop this year and you guys will be first to know, I promise. I'm just taking my blending brush and kind of flicking it up using a really soft touch, making it into more of a triangular point. I would definitely consider this an eyeshadow look that looks amazing on everybody. If you have more of a darker complexion, I would just go in with a more fudgy, espresso, chocolatey dark brown. And then I'm just softly going into the inner corner just to contour a bit. I always feel like it makes the look a little bit more sultry and sexy when you bring it into the nose contour. And then using the same shade, but a smaller, more dense brush, I'm just gonna bring this right underneath the lower lash line and start building that up just to softly smoke out a bit. I always feel like this just brings everything together. Next, I'm gonna go in with this really gorgeous foiled champagne toned eyeshadow. And I'm actually just gonna apply it with my fingers and just dab this on the inner corners of my eyelids, basically just bringing this about halfway. So starting in the inner corner and then just lightly starting to pat this onto the eyelid. Whenever you're using more of a shimmer or foiled textured eyeshadow, I highly recommend using your fingertips because it will just pick up the product in a way that the brush cannot. For brows, I'm gonna be using my Imitations eyebrow pencil from Brow Code in the shade Brunette. I recently fell in love with this brow pencil and I just felt like I had to share. I just feel like when I get hooked on something, I really get hooked on something and I will just use it until it goes out of style. I don't know why, I've just always been like that. Creature of habit. So I'm just gonna start off in the arch of my brows and I'm just gonna bring this a little bit lower right here, just to give the illusion that my brows have a little bit more of a straighter look than so much of the arch that I have. And I'm just ever so slightly bringing this down in the arch and I swear it makes the biggest difference on my eyebrows. Just because they're naturally so arched. I'm just gonna kind of connect and extend the tail end of my brows and just make them a little bit thicker on the ends. Now the best thing about this pencil is that it just glides on. You don't have to use any pressure at all. Once it hits your skin, it just kind of like melts in, but it stays put. It doesn't move throughout the day at all, and it just looks so natural. I just feel like I can get the most feathered looking strokes without having to really press. I've just noticed when I have to use more pressure on my skin that sometimes I'll lose a few brow hairs and we cannot be having that. So I just love how with this pencil, you don't have to use really any pressure at all to get the results that you want. I just find with my brow hair, it looks best if I only fill in the areas where I have gaps. But you definitely have to do what works best for you. I know that everybody's brow shapes are different. We all have different hair textures, so you really have to do what works for you. And I highly recommend looking at my other videos where I have different models in my chair so you can find someone that looks a little bit more like you. And whenever you get into the inner part of the brow, it's really important to use the lightest pressure and have a really steady hand so this area always looks softer. For eyeliner, I'm gonna be using my pen liner from Hank & Henry in the shade Blickety Black. I always like to start off by creating more of a softer wing liner, so nothing that's too heavy on the eyes, but by all means, you have to do what's best for your eye shape. And with a really steady hand, as you can see, I'm just slowly starting to even out this wing liner going from thick to thin. Sometimes in order to create the most straightest line on the eyes, you need to rotate the brush in different directions. So sometimes that means laying your wrist in different directions on the face to get the brush to lay properly. For mascara, I'm gonna be using my BUXOM Lash Mascara. So I've been using this mascara so much lately, and I just love how long and full it's been making my lashes look. And they never look clumpy. I love the wand on it. It helps to really separate and lift. And then not only that, it never flakes throughout the day. So I definitely want to do a lash today. I'm actually going to trim these and only apply the outer corner. So this is Pret-a-Porter from the Kiss Lashes Masterpiece Collection. And just for the record, these are faux mink lashes and they are so beautiful on the eyes. I specifically love this style because it's kind of more in a flared out catty shape. So it's really gonna go well with this liner that I have going on. Whenever I'm applying my lashes, I always take my tweezers or lash applicator and I'm just gonna tilt my head back and I'm just going to drop this on the outer corner of the eye. For some reason, I feel like I have to bring my arm up and then down when I'm doing it on myself. It just kind of helps my real lashes to stay out of the way. And then I just start to kind of manipulate the lash and I'll pull this inner part down, lift the outer part up, so that way you get more of like a flat catty shape. And then just to make sure that they're really meshed together, I like to look down and then press my real lashes with the faux lashes. And then to really make this blend, just take your mascara and start from the base and then lightly start to feather this up. For blush, I'm gonna be using this shade Havana by BUXOM Cosmetics. A little goes a long way with this product. Every time I load up my brush, I always knock it off on the back of my hand. Because when I tell you this blush is pigmented, I mean, it is a 14-hour wear. It does not move on the skin and it's primer infused. So I always like to smile and then just kind of lightly start to pat this in. And I just love that it's a soft pink. It kind of has like this pearlescence to it, so you get a little bit of a glow from it. And the best part about this blush is that it doesn't fade throughout the day. Sometimes I just feel like my makeup just eats the blush, and that is not the case with the BUXOM blushes. The Wonderlust Primer Infused blushes are amazing. And to really extend this glow, I'm gonna be using my Danessa Myricks Dew Wet Balm in the shade Rose Water. So when applying this product, I just kind of like to load up my beauty blender. I'll put it on the back of my hand just to evenly distribute the product and to warm it up. And then I like to just kind of pinch the beauty blender to keep it more narrow and then apply it to the tops of the cheeks. And then just bringing this around a little bit on the temples. And it just leaves your skin with the most beautiful glow. And going back in with my ELEMIS Kefir Tea Mist just to really lock in this makeup and just have it kind of melt in and become one with my skin. For lip liner, I'm gonna be using this shade from Anastasia Beverly Hills in Dusty Rose. So I'm just gonna start off by lining my bottom lip with Dusty Rose, and I'm just gonna overdraw lightly in the center of my lips on the bottom, keeping the corners as narrow as I can, just to give the illusion of powdered lips. And then I'm just gonna go in and slightly contour the inner corners of my lips, creating a more shaded look. And then for the top of my lips, I'm gonna roll my lip down and just slightly start to overdraw in the Cupid's bow area, and then keeping the sides of my lips more narrow. I always feel like when I do this technique, it gives my lips more of a youthful look. And for lipstick, I'm gonna be using the shade Heartthrob by BUXOM. This is one of their full force plumping nude lipsticks. I'm just gonna start off by tapping the lipstick in the center of my lips. So this lipstick is pretty unique because it has a natural bullet shaped curve to it. And it was a lot more curved when I first got it, but I've been using this so much because I love this lipstick. It is more of a pinky nude lip. I love using it with a darker lip liner just to give my lips more of a nice contrast. So it's exactly what we're gonna do today, and I just feel like it goes perfect with this look. It also keeps your lips really hydrated. It contains hyaluronic acid, and it has a plumper to it because hello, it is BUXOM, and they are known for their lip plumping products. I hope you learned some new tricks from me. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Just kind of decreasing inflammation and chef's kiss. Dew Wet product in the shade, ooh, what is that? Motorcycle? Find out your weaknesses and build a case against it. Build a profile of credentials to disprove that weakness.